Here with the insiders, Jake Carter and Lucas Critelli. A big night on Tuesday night in the NHL ahead of the deadline. Marco Scandella, Dylan DeMello, and Brendan Dillon all being traded away. Lucas, which trade made the most sense?
Well, Joe, the one that I had my eye on was the Marco Scandella trade to the St. Louis Blues. A great trade for the Blues. They picked up another defenseman to take Jay Bouwmeester's place after that scary incident he had. And as well for the Montreal Canadiens, I found it interesting getting a second round and a conditional fourth. It seems like they're throwing in the towel, so be aware that they could make more moves coming out of the deadline.
Vancouver, a team that's not done yet at the deadline. They reported in the market for another tough player. Who could that be?
Well, I've been hearing that it is Wayne Simmons. They already traded for Tyler Toffoli to replace Brock Besser, who is out reportedly 8 weeks. And as well, Michael Furlan is out for the rest of the season. So they're looking for a player to step into that role, and I think Wayne Simmons is the best fit. He adds toughness to the team. He brings scoring depth. He can play on the power play. So I really think Wayne Simmons is the right fit for the Vancouver Canucks.
And the Edmonton Oilers, they seem to be missing a lot of their key players due to injury. Jake, do we see them going out at the deadline and grabbing up anyone?
Well, I think the Oilers are a team that are really in an interesting position, Joe, because like you mentioned with their injuries, Connor McDavid, Chris Russell, Oscar Klefbom, James Neal, all in the 2 to 3 week injury period for the Oilers right now. So I think for them, I could see them maybe going after Jean-Gabriel Pageau on the Senators or Chris Kreider on the Rangers. A third-line scoring center and also a scoring winger in Kreider. So those guys could be, a good pickup for the Oilers. But I've also heard that they're not willing to give up either a high draft pick or high prospects. So Ken Holland is in a tough position for the Oilers.
Of course, the deadline is on Monday the 24th. Who will be the biggest buyers?
Well, Joe, the biggest buyers I would have to say are the Boston Bruins and Colorado Avalanche. Let's start with Boston. They're looking for a second-line winger or center. So I've been hearing Jean-Gabriel Pageau, Vladislav Nemestikov, Ilya Kovalchuk, and the New Jersey Devils' Kyle Palmieri. These guys could add good scoring depth to the Boston Bruins, who we know are a top contender for the Stanley Cup. And as well for the Colorado Avalanche, they are looking for a goaltender as well. We don't know how long that Philip Grubauer will be out, so they could be looking at Chicago's Robin Lehner for a possible trade, and as well looking for a second-line winger or center from the players that I listed.
With all the buyers, we do have sellers. Jake, which team will be the biggest seller at the deadline?
I think you have to go with the New Jersey Devils and the Detroit Red Wings on this one, Joe, as sellers. You look at the Devils, they've already shipped off Blake Coleman to the Tampa Bay Lightning. They still have Kyle Palmieri, like Lucas mentioned, as well as Sami Vatanen, who's soon to be coming off the IR, and also Wayne Simmons. So all three of those guys could be great pickups for a team. Of course, Palmieri, the only one who isn't an unrestricted free agent at the end of this season. And then you move over to the Red Wings, and I think, they're in exactly not where they want to be at this point in the season. They are at the bottom of the league. And you look at that team, they've got pending UFAs like Jimmy Howard, Mike Green, and Trevor Daley. So they could definitely help out a team making that playoff push, as well as Andreas Athanasiou could be an interesting pickup. Of course, he's a restricted free agent at the end of the season, a speedy winger that could for sure help out a playoff team.
The Toronto Maple Leafs are reportedly in talks to finalize an extension of defenseman Jake Muzzin, which would leave 3 defenders on the roster on expiring contracts.